So this just goes back to the branding element. If Drake would went the pop star route, this would not be an issue. Because who cares if Usher or Beyonce or The Weeknd or Chris Brown, if they have writers, who cares? But if you are claiming to be the GOAT at rapping, what are we doing? The only people that will fall for the manipulation tricks are your fans.
Now, when it comes to Drake, as right now, Nokia is the last thing that Drake has even kind of had going for him, and he is trying to turn this song into the anthem that will save his entire career as we speak. As now this is the only song left from Drake's SSS For You album that is being looked at under a microscope because it's the only thing that didn't just come and go right after it dropped. After diving into the origins of this record and how Drake exactly made one song that has not flopped since his downfall has started, what has now been discovered is that with every single part of this record that is considered even slightly memorable, Drake did not have any part in making this song, and only just stamped his name on the final thing after doing none of the work. And
it's crazy because with anybody else, you could probably give them the benefit of the doubt, but with Drake, this has happened too many times. This is Drake we talk about. We already talking about the reference tracks and the ghostwriters and the freestyling on the BlackBerry. But it's not even just about the reference tracks. It's this entire album has been mimicked from the cover art. So y'all remember old buddy was upset about them using the towers, the music video, the Nokia music video was mimicking Kendrick. Literally, so many different aspects of this album was focused on someone else or just completely copyrighted, stolen. But this is weird, man. It's almost getting redundant and repetitive.
with everything else that has already been going against the guy, this could have never came at a worse time, and it has never made him look like more of a fraud. And now, before we go any further into all of this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton, and as what just happened has shown that Drake's biggest song right now didn't even come from him, really be sure to leave that like so hip-hop can once and for all see how much Drake has tried to deceive all of us. And so now, with that said, when it comes to Drake, with the controversy surrounding how Nokia was made, everything coming out is really putting into perspective one of the most telling moments about the current state of where Drake's career is at as a whole. Because really what this is showing is that even when Drake is making us all think that he is up with this record, it's all an illusion because it didn't actually come from him, and the only reason he has had any success to his name recently is because another artist had a decent idea which he just fully stole.
I was just about to say that. Because Drake has been under a microscope ever since the ghostwriting allegations came out during this beef. And all the songs that he's put out have flopped. Even Nokia is the only one that's still gaining traction. But like Fantastic Hip Hop just said, the one track that's actually doing amazing was really founded and started by the idea of somebody else. Like the mass majority of the song, the Who's Calling My Phone, the beat, the idea is like, it goes back to everything we don't like about Drake. He's a puppet. He's corporate. He's a rap capitalist. That's it. Going back to Nikola Tesla versus Thomas Edison. Going back to a creator versus somebody that takes other people's works, just stamps his name on top. That's crazy.
And now what has come out that has just made Drake look worse than ever has been a recent finding with an artist who goes by the name Elen, who is credited on this song for vocals and production, but nobody would have expected his impact on this song to be this big. Because with a guy who has respect in the industry and who has worked in the background for songs from big names like Metro Boomin and Russ, with this Nokia record, he had the entire thing done in October with just his own voice, and all the catchy parts from the Who Callin' My Phone intro, and also the beat drops and switches, and with the whole roll call of names and samples. And with all of this, and again, this isn't just the instrumental or a small section that played here, but it's the entire melody and arrangement of the track with all of its memorable parts and all of its vocals, except it's just not Drake's voice and instead his own. While the credits would make you think that Drake was in the studio with this guy and they just made this record by collaborating together, what this video he made shows us where the song is playing well before it was ever released. It's just that Drake didn't do a single thing other than put his name on a good idea. And now while Drake fans and people have been trying to spin this thing as just being a reference track, from both the way this song was made to the way he has presented it to the people. He is just lying to everyone, and while Drake fans are trying to act like he didn't do anything wrong here because he did credit the artist, and I mean the artist was actually fine with this, at the same time, I know Drake fans and anybody in OVO will never admit this, but doesn't it feel off that the only song that you have popping right now is a track that was made and performed by another guy originally?
And that just goes back to Drake's pen. So a lot of people were saying that the Hard Part 6 was Drake writing everything himself. That's the reason why it sounded so choppy and so loopy, because it was Drake having to finally write under a time crunch. And it just showed Drake for what he really is, because he's always had writers. So this just goes back to the branding element. If Drake would have went the pop star route, this would not be an issue. Because who cares if Usher or Beyonce or The Weeknd or Chris Brown, if they have writers? Who cares? But if you are claiming to be the GOAT at rapping, what are we doing? The only people that will fall for the manipulation tricks are your fans. So he can't keep coming back with these 20v1, everyone hates me, because it gives him the ability to be the victim. Because he can just hide from our actual criticisms of him by saying, oh, y'all just hate me, y'all just trying to jump me, you don't like me, you're anti-Semitic. Hey, this is crazy, man.
And then that Drake just put his name on altogether? Because really, for so many reasons, both when you think about how this only shows that Drake's best ability currently is taking other more talented and creative artists' ideas, and also in more perplexing that he still does not have the ability to make catchy pop songs back like many are trying to say that this song was. I mean, overall, while if we were in past eras for Drake where he was seen in a better place and had other things going for him, this really would not be as big of a problem, but with an entire album and era, where all of the other 20 records from this project are next to forgotten already and the only one sticking was made by another guy? I mean, this is just lame and there's no other way to put it, and especially when you consider that this is becoming the anthem for OVO and Drake, not just because it's a catchy song, but because to them it's now representing the return of Drake and how he has never fallen off and how the industry did not ruin his career. I mean, with this entire song just being something that he just stamped his name on and didn't put in the work to actually make it what it is. It's just lying to everyone, and both from the fact that Drake clearly is not going to be able to do something like this again, because even when we think about this song compared to SSS For You, the rest of the album was so boring and dull that this was one of the only tracks that even stood out, and really just from that we should have known that he didn't make it. No matter how you want to look at it, when you understand that this song is not really his, it's just weird, and especially for Drake and everyone around him in this time where they are not just trying to celebrate Drake having a major record, but they are trying to use this exact song as the moment that is showing that he has won over Kendrick Lamar, that he is better than him, and that he is the king of hip-hop.
And that's crazy because you have at the same time saying you're being blackballed, the labels are going against you, UMG hates you, but at the same time you're still at top 10, you're still hitting in the millions, you're not doing what you used to, but that's because the music isn't that great. The music isn't good enough. It's not because of bots, not because of fake streams or playlists. People are tired. We get thousands of hours of content daily. We get plenty of music. We got content creators. We got TV shows. We have a lot of people to take up our time. Most people are not turning on the radio anymore. So people have to actually go to the streams. And even then, the playlist is the playlist. Like, they can easily just skip over the songs or just play on their own playlist. So it's not easy to try to manipulate the masses anymore, especially once we are so aware of what's going on within Drake's camp because of this beef. I don't think he understands, like I said, there's such a microscope on him. He's just literally doing everything that Kendrick claimed he does, and he can't stop himself. It's getting weird to this point. It's like he has no self-awareness at all.
This is just ridiculous, and it's actually an elaborate lie that Drake is really trying to pull off. And what's so funny about everything that Drake does is that with his comeback song, which is performing better than anything else he has done, being something that another artist did and that he just put his name on, while they are doing everything they can to just frame this as a win, now that the origin of how Drake made this song is something that we can all see and understand, once again, and even when he is trying to turn something into a victory, He is showing why he is not like Kendrick, hip hop, and any other rapper, because this is the most anti hip hop thing you could possibly do and think of. And really, with Drake just taking a successful and interesting concept from another artist and just lifting it as his own, if anything, what Drake is showing is that he should not be respected in hip hop anymore because this is just not what rappers do. And with someone like Kendrick Lamar, whose every idea is so clearly original and authentic to himself, I mean, this just goes against how every other great rapper, and even the ones who make these big popular songs, has ever worked. And really, what Drake is proving here is that he shouldn't even be in conversations with rappers anymore, and really, what he wants to be more like than the biggest rappers are.
It's not only that, you can just tell that Drake has no original ideas or concepts. We don't know what Drake is anymore. I don't think Drake knows who he is anymore. Drake, he's just a name. He's just a corporation. He's a product. He doesn't know how to be human. I don't want to say it, but like, this is the definition of literally selling your soul. And it's so difficult, especially when you're an artist, is we can see what you can create. We can see your thought process through your art, and we can tell how you're feeling. And most artists, we communicate that through our artwork. I don't know what Drake's trying to communicate. Looking at that Nokia video, I don't know what he wants. I don't understand what Drake wants. I think he's truly bored. Man,
are the biggest pop stars right now, because when it comes to what all of the big artists do in that lane, with every single one of those major singers, no matter who you want to look at, this entire industry and star power of the biggest names in it has been continued and pushed by this exact practice that we are seeing with Drake here. Because these major artists who keep having these massive songs for so long, I mean, if it wasn't obvious, they have teams that are designing these tracks to be the biggest things they possibly can, or they just find good ideas from smaller artists and end up taking them to create something that sounds fresh and creative that they can put their name on. And I mean, this is exactly what Drake has done with this Nokia song. And with this, if Drake just wanted to stay in this lane and claim his title of being a pop star, not a rapper, for what he's doing here, that would be fine. But to try and use this lifted song from another guy as your comeback statement and claim that you are the top rapper, which is what we are seeing happen right now. And again, he can't do no wrong in his fans' eyes, so they are just pushing this more and more. This is just laughable and ridiculous, and again, only proves what Kendrick Lamar is saying to look more true than it ever has been. Because Drake, of course, just did not even try to lift up the formula and methods that rappers use to create genuinely good music, and instead is using methods that only singers would ever use, and really with this has just proved that he is more like Taylor Swift and Sabrina Carpenter than he will ever be to Kendrick Lamar.
Absolutely, and that's been the biggest issue. Is like, homie, you're a pop star. We like Drake with the melodies. Go make melodies. Go do your thing. Go make Nokia. But hey, don't try to claim the crown. Ever.
And just proving how inauthentic Nokia was for Drake. What's honestly interesting about this, and I think just exposes how little Drake was involved with the creative process of this record, and why it feels both unlike anything else on this album, and even why it has taken him so long to actually support the song, is because first off for Drake, he clearly just did this song and took it for whatever reason, but did not even see its full potential or understand what the record could be, because both in terms of the track listing and how they pushed this record, he would have put this thing much earlier in the track list to catch people's attention if he knew that what he was doing was going to be as big of a song when it dropped. And also, as Drake did not put any support into getting this record to radio and streaming and push songs like Gimme a Hug instead, this also showcased how Drake just didn't even understand what this record could be whatsoever. And even more telling about how disconnected Drake has been from this song, that he lifted from somebody else. And really, when we look at all,
I was saying the same thing, because Give Me a Hug was getting a lot of play, and I ain't like that song. I did not like that song. But Nokia is more melodic Drake, more pop star Drake, so I can vibe with it a little bit more. But yeah, I was saying the same thing, because I was looking at some of the reactions to some, I forgot how to pronounce his album, but I was just looking at some reactions, and I saw that it was so low on the track list, and I was asking myself, why would it be so low on the track list? So I was just thinking the exact same thing. So there's no way he thought this was gonna be the one, especially considering Drake and his usual chart history. He's so used to having so many different hits. Like, he expected almost probably to go like Kendrick did, or how Playboi Carti did, where they had all their songs on the Billboard charts. So that's Drake's lane. He's never done it before, but he's come pretty close. He's had a lot of records. You feel me? You got to get it to him on that. Like he has his numbers, but at the same time, it's looking fishy.
All of this got lucky with, because it's now really helping him more than anything else has, is that even with the song's music video, it all makes sense now, because Drake fundamentally missed the point and vibe of why this song is actually getting traction in the first place, and instead twisted the message and used this song that this other artist made to continue his beef with Kendrick and to try and send all of these weird disses to Kendrick Lamar, which only made both the video feel off and made him look more ridiculous in this moment entirely. And again, from Drake ripping this song, and now from the way that he has not even understood what this record could be really until now. What this is telling us is that even in this era where Drake's hip-hop card has been questioned more than it ever has, that he can't even pretend to be a rapper, and if anything, he is more of a pop star than ever right now, and whether he will admit it or not, more than just the titles of what type of artist he wants.
And there's nothing wrong with that, Drake. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to be Michael, go be Michael. Michael was always Michael, no matter what he went. He wore the same outfits, did his hair the exact same way, spoke the exact same way. Man, bro, Michael was really from Gary, Indiana, and he doesn't act this way. Drake, he's from a suburban community that gets around black people trying to act tough. What we doing, man? Just go be a pop star. He would never have any of these issues if he just stayed a pop star. Drake, he continues to put himself in these situations just to play victim. And this is exactly what we're talking about.
Wants to be. What all of this is really revealing, and what I'm sure Drake doesn't want us all to know, is that he has not gotten better artistically since the beef whatsoever, and because this song is not from him, it is not the comeback he needed whatsoever, because really, with this record being a lucky guess that has ended up to work out well for him, both from the fact that he didn't even see its full potential until people responded to it, to also just knowing now that it's not from him and it's another artist's original idea. I mean, no matter how much people like this song or want to see more of it, he can't follow this up, because a song and moment like this was never a part of his own story and was only ever a chapter that he pretended to call his own. And so now with this, while Drake and his community are trying to cover this all up and act like this is just another reference track which means nothing, let's call this for what it is, which is firsthand seeing that Drake has lost his creative ability and has no new ideas whatsoever, and that if anything, whatever that's coming from him that's sticking even a little bit is only happening because the only skill he has right now is taking other people's ideas and not actually coming up with new stuff on his own. And so now with us knowing this and seeing how little he contributed to what Nokia was altogether, again, when it comes to Drake ever being respected as a rapper again and joining back in a debate and conversation around who's the best MC in any sort of meaningful or authentic way, that's never happening again. It's all over and he's out of here, because with the last thing Drake has and the first thing his fans can actually call a win being a song that he didn't actually contribute anything original to other than just putting his name on it, he has managed to once again show that even if he has something that's being framed as a win, that he is so far gone and has reached to such desperate measures to make anyone believe that his career is in a better place than it really is, that it somehow is really a loss, and it's only proving everything Kendrick Lamar has said to be more than true. And because of this, well, when you really see what's going on with all of...
And that's the thing with Drake fans. His fans don't care. His fans don't care. But he will never reach those numbers again if he doesn't get the culture behind him. There's no one single fan base that can push you past the culture. You're not bigger than the culture at all. Nobody is. So, saying if you truly want to be successful, it takes multiple different fan bases combined into one. So, throughout this entire rap beef with the entire 20v1 narrative, he's separated himself from so many of the black community's biggest stars, man. I can go down the list. But at the same time, it's like, nah, man, your fans will fall for it. Everybody else, it's tiring, man.
This like we all have. We just know that there is really no other rappers who have lied to us so consistently as Drake. And eventually, while he even thinks he's getting away with this Nokia record now, this is all gonna crumble and it will ruin his entire legacy in the hip-hop world if it hasn't been ruined already. And so now with all this said, let me know. What?
Hey, man. Shout out to Fantastic Hip Hop. Man, see you on the next video.